Welcome back to the channel. Today we're breaking down Iron Flame, the explosive sequel to Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. This video goes chapter by chapter, exploring major events, character arcs, and turning points, all while staying spoiler-friendly for those who want a detailed breakdown. So settle in, hit the like button, and let's dive into Violet Sorrengail's unforgiving second year at the War College. The story picks up immediately after the events of Fourth Wing. Violet is recovering at Ryerson House in Eresha, the revolutionary headquarters, 3 days after the battle at Resson. She's just learned the shocking truth. Her brother Brennan is alive and now goes by Lieutenant Colonel Asire. Violet listens in on an assembly meeting where the revolutionaries discuss their desperate need for a luminary, a device that intensifies dragon fire to forge weapons capable of killing venom. They debate whether to steal one from Basgiath or negotiate with Viscount Yarros in Poromil. Brennan explains the venom threat to Violet. These corrupted souls drain life force and command wyvern, dragon-like creatures that breathe blue and green fire. He reveals that Eresha sits beyond Navarre's protective wards and has a dormant ward stone. Violet becomes determined to discover how to activate it. Meanwhile, Andarna has undergone a shocking transformation. After stopping time at Resson, she's matured into an adolescent black dragon, losing her time-stopping ability, but doubling in size. Back to War College, the group returns to Basgiath for graduation, maintaining the cover story that Griffins attacked them at Athabine. Colonel Atos is demoted by General Sorrengail for his tactical failures, and a new vice commandant arrives, Major Varish, who immediately makes Basgiath even more brutal. Zayden is promoted to lieutenant and assigned to Samara, a day's flight away. The command restricts Violet and Zayden to seeing each other only twice a month, which strains their dragon bond and their relationship. Trust issues simmer between them as Zayden continues keeping revolutionary secrets from Violet. On conscription day, 2 significant cadets join Violet's squad. Sloane Mary, Liam's younger sister who blames Violet for his death, and Eric Greycastle, actually Prince Cam, King Tori's third son in disguise. During the welcoming ceremony, Major Varish's dragon Solus incinerates several fleeing first years and nearly kills Violet in the process. Tarn intervenes, establishing a dangerous feud with Solus. Assassination attempts begin almost immediately. A first-year cadet kills Nadine after mistaking her for Violet, revealing that someone, likely Colonel Atos, wants Violet and the other Resson survivors dead. Violet kills her attacker, but the threat is clear. Jack Barlow, whom Violet believed she'd killed, mysteriously reappears at Basgiath, healed and acting strangely kind. Nolan, the head mender, looks exhausted from secretly working on something. Violet begins researching the first 6 Navarre's founders in the archives with scribe Jacinia's help, searching for the secret to activating ward stones. She can't tell her best friends Rhiannon, Rydok, and Sawyer the truth yet, which creates painful distance between them. Violet flies to Samara to see Zayden, and they begin rebuilding trust. He explains that the daggers used to kill Venom are made from a special alloy that holds imbued power, the same material that powers the wards. Riders with specific abilities must pour their own power into the alloy to make it effective. The revolutionaries need a forge with a luminary to create more weapons. Back at Basgiath, Varish punishes Violet repeatedly for not producing Andarna at flight maneuvers, nearly killing her with exhaustion from wielding lightning. Tarn eventually threatens Varish's dragon Solus, forcing Varish to back down and apologize publicly. The cadets undergo brutal training exercises, including a land navigation mission where they're dosed with herbs that sever their dragon bonds and signet powers. During this exercise, Jack's dragon Bide appears but doesn't attack Violet, out of fear of Tairn. The interrogation training proves even worse. Violet and her squad are tortured in underground chambers. Varish brings in Dane to use his memory-reading signet on Violet, but Dane refuses. Varish dislocates Violet's shoulder and she passes out. Nolan, showing unexpected mercy, helps them escape. Violet continues her secret research, learning that a writer named Jasek was executed for requesting forbidden books. Jacinia warns Violet to only meet on Saturdays to avoid detection, but agrees to help find comprehensive texts about the first six and ward creation. Violet makes a deal with Sloane. She'll give her one of Liam's letters for every week Sloane trains with Imogen to improve her combat skills. It's Violet's way of honoring her promise to Liam. During mat challenges, Violet faces Dane, who insists he didn't know his father would ambush them at Athabine. He reveals that Violet's mother is responsible for the scars on Xaden's back, a revelation that shakes Violet. Eric pulls Violet aside and confirms he knows about the Venom threat, which is why he came to Basgiath. Violet flies to Samara and reunites with her sister Mira, who's now stationed there. Mira explains how the wards work. They form a dome over Navarre with the ward stone as the anchor, weakening toward the edges. Violet suggests Wyvern, not Griffins, might be destroying Poromish cities, but Mira dismisses it as fantasy. That night, Xaden tells Violet the truth. The infantry is killing Poromish civilians, trying to cross the border. It's a war crime Basgiath will never brief. Violet and Xaden make a pact. No more secrets that affect their decisions. Major Varish's interrogation training becomes pure torture. He brings Dane in to break Violet, but Dane refuses to violate her mind again. Varish savagely beats Violet until she passes out. Nolan heals her just enough to survive, then discreetly unlocks their door, allowing the squad to escape. After this, Violet finally tells Rhiannon, Redoc, and Sawyer everything about the Venom, the Wyvern, and the ward research. To her relief, they're not angry. They want to help. Redoc remembers that 2 of the first 6 kept journals, likely stored in sub-level vaults that require royal blood to access. With Eric's help, they plan to steal the journals. Jacinia guides them through the archives to the royal vault. They have 45 minutes before the doors seal permanently. Inside the vault, they find the journals of Lyra and Warwick, 2 of the first 6. The texts contain the original instructions for creating wards, but their incursion triggers an alarm. Varish captures Violet and tortures her for information. He brings Dane in to read her memories. This time, Dane does read Violet's mind, but then he attacks Varish to help her escape, telling her she should have trusted him. Xaden and Garrick arrive to help them fight their way out. They kill Varish together. General Sorrengail appears and reveals she made a deal with Xaden to protect Violet in her first year. She gives Violet the antidote to the bond-severing elixir. Tairn makes a monumental decision. He shares the memory of the battle at Ressin with every dragon at Basgiath, who pass it to their riders. The truth about Venom and Wyvern spreads instantly. Xaden addresses all the riders, asking them to join the revolution. Professor Devera steps forward, saying she's been waiting for this moment. Hundreds of riders and 4 professors defect to Aredia, fundamentally changing the war. Violet wakes in Aretia as Andarna emerges from dreamless sleep. The assembly scrambles to organize the influx of cadets and continue training. More riders abandon their posts after Xaden drops wyvern carcasses at various outposts, revealing the truth. Violet attempts to activate Aretia's wardstone using Warwick's journal, believing 6 powerful riders must drip blood on it. The attempt fails. She also learns Xaden has a secret second signet. He's an Intensig. able to read people's intentions. His dragon's previous bond to his grandfather gave him this ability. Violet becomes determined to secure the luminary from Viscount Yarros. Despite Xaden's objections, she flies to Corden with Mira and Brennan. Yarros forces them to attend a lavish dinner where Kat, Xaden's ex-fiancée, and Yarros' niece, uses her emotion-amplifying signet to torment Violet. Yarros demands a demonstration of Violet's lightning. During the test, he releases a caged venom. Violet fights desperately, using alloy daggers to pin the venom's feet and flooding the arena floor. She channels lightning through the water, electrocuting the venom while Tern incinerates it. Impressed, Yarros agrees to a deal. The revolutionaries can use the luminary to forge weapons, and they'll supply Poromil with daggers. Additionally, they'll relocate 100 Griffin flyers to Eretia. The forge becomes operational. The Griffin flyers officially join Violet's squad, creating cultural tensions. Kat continues her emotional manipulation, amplifying Violet's jealousy about her past with Xaden. During sparring, Kat pushes Violet to the edge, and Violet nearly kills her with lightning before Xaden intervenes, explaining that his betrothal to Kat never worked because she couldn't make him feel what Violet does. He reveals that the protective runes on his dagger shield Violet from Kat's signet. Violet makes a breakthrough in translation. Working with Dane, she discovers a critical error. The ancient text says breath, not blood. The wards require breath from 6 types of dragons, not blood from 6 riders. Violet shares her ward-raising theory with the Griffin Flyers, explaining that activating the wards will disable their magic permanently. The Flyers must choose, stay in Eratia without magic, or seek shelter in Corden with risk. It's a devastating choice, but many choose to stay and fight. During a cave expedition, Solus attacks the group, and Darna saves them, revealing she can breathe fire and camouflage herself. Violet and Kat work together to kill Solus with daggers and lightning, forcing a grudging truce. Xaden finally reveals his second signet openly, admitting he's been able to read Violet's intentions since they met. Violet is hurt, but begins to understand the weight of his secrets. The assembly activates Oricia's wardstone with dragons from each of the 6 dens. The wards flare to life, killing many wyvern that fly through. But General Melgren arrives with troubling news. He's foreseen a battle where the Venin will attack Samara and Navarre will fall. He asks for help. Violet meets privately with her mother, General Sorrengail, who reveals Warwick's instructions are incomplete. The wards will eventually fail because he wanted only Navarre to have the secret. She gives Violet Lyra's journal with the real instructions, saying she wants her daughters to live above all else. Violet realizes the real attack won't be on Samara. It will be on Basgiath during the winter solstice, when everyone is distracted. She convinces Xaden to fight there, despite the assembly's objections. Violet, Xaden, Mira, and hundreds of riders race to Basgiath. In the ward chamber, they discover Jack Barlow has turned Venin. He's planted lures and weapons for the enemy. Before they can stop him, Jack kills his own dragon Bide and destroys the wardstone with dragon blood. Navarre's wards collapse completely. 1,000 wyvern attack an unwarded Basgiath. The battle is brutal and desperate. Riders, griffins, and infantry fight side by side as Venin swarm the college. Brennan works to mend the shattered wardstone while the battle rages. Jacinia makes a crucial discovery in Lyra's journal. The wards require 7 types of dragons, not 6. Violet realizes Andarna isn't a black dragon. She's a 7th breed entirely, previously unknown. Violet attempts to channel enough power to activate the wardstone, but she's burning out. Her mother, General Sorrengail, stops her. In a moment of devastating sacrifice, General Sorrengail has Sloane, a siphon, channel all her power and her dragon's power into the ward stone. The surge of energy activates the ward, but kills General Sorrengail instantly. The ward stone blazes with power, and the protective dome rises over Basgiath. Wyvern that breach the wards die immediately, their bodies littering the battlefield. The Venin retreat. Basgiath is saved, but at enormous cost. In the aftermath, Violet searches for Xaden. She finds him, exhausted from fighting, but as they talk, Violet notices something that makes her blood run cold. A red tinge around Xaden's eyes. Red eyes are the mark of the Venin. Xaden has turned. He explains that during the battle, he was confronted by the Venin leader called the Sage, who demanded his allegiance. To save Violet and everyone else, Xaden chose to draw power from the earth, the forbidden act that creates Venin. He became the very thing they've been fighting against. The book ends with this devastating cliffhanger. Violet has lost her mother, and now faces losing Xaden to the corruption of Venin magic. The war is far from over, and the cost of victory has never been higher. Iron Flame is a masterclass in raising the stakes. Rebecca Yarros expands the world of the Empyrean series while deepening every relationship and conflict established in Fourth Wing. The themes of trust, sacrifice, loyalty, and the cost of power run throughout the entire novel. Violet's character growth is remarkable. She evolves from a survivor into a leader, someone willing to challenge authority and uncover dangerous truths. Her relationship with Xaden becomes more complex, built on honesty and choice rather than just attraction. The book explores what it means to fight for what's right when those in power lie to maintain control. It asks how far we'll go to protect the people we love, and whether some prices are too high to pay. The ending sets up an impossible situation for the next book in the series. How can Xaden be saved from the Venin corruption? What will Violet do now that she's lost her mother? And how will the revolution survive when their leader has become their enemy? Iron Flame proves that Rebecca Yarros isn't afraid to break her characters and readers' hearts to tell a powerful story. If you haven't read it yet, prepare yourself for an emotional roller coaster that will leave you desperate for the next installment. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this summary, please like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you thought of Iron Flame. What was your favorite moment? How do you think Xaden can be saved? I'd love to hear your theories. See you in the next video.